Hello there, it's Neil Dougan here from Conscious of Health. I'm the Clinic Director here, and we're continuing our series of frequently asked questions about geopathic stress and environmental stress, how it impacts on you and what we can do about helping you to gain tools and techniques to actually be able to firstly identify the geopathic stress and then to further delve into it to try and find out the true nature of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to actually set up for the use of a pendulum, how to get a yes or no going, and what needs to actually happen. So what you do is you start off with a blank piece of paper. So you've got your blank piece of paper in front of you, and you draw a big cross in front of yourself. So you have one axis of the cross is facing towards yourself, and the other axis of the cross is running straight across. Now you begin with your pendulum, and as I say, your pendulum could be made out of anything you really want to use. So in this case here, I'm just using a paper hanging weight. So this is just a very simple piece of steel here, and it's got a string attached to it. You can use anything you like. Many people, in fact most people who are doing this type of work use something like a crystal or a nice piece of carved wood or something like that, which actually has some meaning and something like that for them. So in my case it doesn't make any difference to me, so I just use this. It's something that was handy at the time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish a yes or no. So I'm going to ask my subconscious mind to tell me what's a yes and what's a no. I'm just going to kneel down here so that I can get myself into a comfortable position, and I would suggest that you do much the same thing. So in this position here, my elbow is actually on the table here in the clinic, and it means that I can be nice and stable, and I can use two hands if I want to, just to make everything stable. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question, show me a yes. So I'm going to ask, where's a yes? And you can see that that's the answer coming there, and that's a very clear, unequivocal yes. Now I'm not deliberately moving my hands, I'm not doing anything very specific with my hands. To actually make this thing move, there are micro movements, micro muscle movements going on, but the control over them is not from my conscious mind, the control over them is from my subconscious mind. So this is a questioning process where we're creating a genuine connection between our subconscious mind and our conscious mind, and the process is actually created by these micro movements. You can't even see the movements in my hand, they're micro movements that are occurring. So here we are, getting all stabilised again. So this is a yes in that direction. And now we're going to ask, show me a no. So here we go, show me a no. So there it is quite clearly. It's very difficult for me to be deliberately moving this because I'm making a strong shape here with my hands, and it's just the genuine micro movements that are actually doing this. So I'm going to write that down, and then I'll turn it around so that you can see it. So that's a yes, and that's a no. And I'll turn it around that way, it's exactly the same, so that you can see what's going on. Now when you're doing this kind of work, you're dealing with a connection between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And in that situation, there can be times when your subconscious mind won't know the answer to something, and possibly other times where it won't want to answer. And in those situations it'll be a case where there's some kind of blockage going on, there's some belief system or something like that which is being transgressed. And indeed the other work that we do in the clinic is particularly related to actually dealing with these belief systems and emotions and all those sorts of consciousness issues which might be creating a block to the better intuitive processes going on. So the first question, the third question should I say, that we're going to ask is, show me a I don't know. So there you go, there's an I don't know. So we'll put that around in that direction. And I'll write that up the right way so that you can read it. So that's I don't know. And the last question we want to have answered or available to us, we want our subconscious mind to be able to answer for us, is I don't want to answer. So this is a situation where, for whatever reason, there's some barriers inside yourself and you don't want to answer. So, I don't want to answer. Show me, I don't want to answer. So when I clearly state the question, show me, I don't want to answer, this is what we're getting. So that's in that direction. And I'll write that down so you can see it yourself. I don't want to answer. So we're dealing with the situation where this is a communication directly between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. As I've explained earlier, providing there's no barriers which would bring into account this question or this answer, providing we're dealing with questions which can be just a simple yes or no, your subconscious mind will be going out to general consciousness to look for the answers that it doesn't know within its own system. So we'll just go over that again. So the question is, show me a yes, and we do this. And then we say, show me a no. Show me I don't know. And show me I don't want to answer. So there you go, that's your four answers that you need to have to be able to inquire in these things. And we'll show you very, very shortly in the clinic here, we've identified an area of geopathic stress, and we're going to actually, we've identified it using our dowsing rods. So there's our dowsing rods in action again. And then we're utilising this technique, this asking technique, to ask those questions. There are a couple of principles that you need to be aware of. One is that your subconscious mind and general consciousness in general, in fact, is extremely literal. So you have to be very careful when you're asking the questions. The questions need to be single answer questions. So no double questions, no tricky meanings, anything like that. And check and recheck and recheck. So to get to the point where I am, I started learning this when I was a little boy, and I've been using this type of technique all of my life. So it does take some time to get this going. Generally, when I show people how to do this, I ask them to practice for 2 or 3 minutes a day, getting each of those answers, and do that for 7 days. So have 7 days of practice just getting a yes or no. And then having done that, then you can start asking the questions. And the questions you can ask are only as good as your imagination. So the information that's available through your subconscious mind in terms of information about yourself, about things that you've experienced in your own life and that type of thing, are enormous. And of course, once you start getting comfortable and confident, your intuition will start coming in, and will all improve. And indeed, you'll be able to commence actually making a connection with general consciousness, and it's an almost infinite imaginable variety of information which you can get coming through to you. There are some limitations to it, and the limitations all relate to your ability to process or contextualize the information. So there's no point asking for some information about doing some sort of very complex subject that you know nothing about. So for example, you're a plumber, and if you're going to ask questions about solving some quantum physics equation, well then you're not going to get the answers because you don't have the context to interpret it. But if you are a quantum physicist and you are struggling at the edge of something and you're wanting some information, then this is the perfect technique to be working with. Enormously powerful. So you need to have the context to understand the information that's coming through to you. And by the time you've watched all our 20 videos and you've read up on the bit of information that we've got on the website and other information sheets that we'll send out to you, you will have enough contextual information to be asking questions about geopathic stress and environmental stress. Hello again, it's Neil Dougan here again. If you've enjoyed watching this short video and you'd like to get more information about this, I have made 20 videos of the most frequently asked questions that people have about the subject of geopathic stress, environmental stress, how it impacts on you as an individual, and how your health and your well-being of your family is being affected by this type of stress in your environment. If you would like the information, we have these 20 videos. I'm happy to email them to you. All you need to do is complete the form. You don't need to be concerned at all about completing your form. We will not use your information for any other purpose other than to communicate with you about this valuable information. So please complete the form and we'll get these videos across to you, and look forward to catching up with you on all this wonderful information. Thank you very much.